Welcome to Skyline Dreams. Today's video isn't being broadcasted from the mighty Nissan Skyline because of course it's still getting restored. So instead it's coming from the Skyline Dreams World Headquarters Technology Centre, aka my garage. In today's video we're going to be doing a few bits and bobs to the Do Like body kit. So Skyline Dreamers, what have we got planned? Well, we're going to be installing some LEDs into it, we're going to be installing some strobe lights into it, and we're going to be installing some LED side lights into it as well. The previous LED rails that we had on the bumper were made out of this black plastic L-shaped right angle plastic strip. It was alright, but we don't want to do okay, we want to do brilliant. So we're going to be installing a metal rail and going to be blending it in properly into the bumper. Now I'm always on the lookout for useful bits and bobs, and a little while ago I got hold of this right angle aluminium strip. It's going to be much more suitable for the job and it'll be really easy to blend it in nicely to the fiberglass body kit. We want the LEDs to shine down into this gap here, which of course is where the front mount intercooler sits. So we're going to plant the LEDs on this section behind here. So I've drawn a line. Going to cut that out, see how it fits, and then start blending. And to achieve this cut, I'm going to be using this little circular saw piece that sits in the drill. It's absolutely ideal for cutting through fiberglass. So that's the first bit cut out, making way for the next piece. Perfect depth, as you can see. Now it's time to get creative. From there I've cut a couple of little notches in, one each end, there and there. Now you can see the aluminium rail sits in there pretty well. Now it's time to cut it down to size, fix it in, blend it. So I've cut the notches out so it sits in here nicely. Tiny bit more sanding to do so there's no sharp edges. Now we need to give it a really good scuff up so that the fiberglass can bond to it nicely. So I've got it held nice and steady in my little workbench. I'm going to use one of these wire brush attachments for the drill. It's aluminium, should be pretty soft, shouldn't take too much effort to give it a good scuff up. Not only so the fiberglass sticks to it, but also so the paint later on sticks to it. Okay, as you can see, this has had a good scuffing up with the wire drill brush attachment. Should give it a really good surface for the fiberglass to stick to now. So we're ready to start fiberglassing. I'm going to be using the Isopon P40, really good stuff, really easy to use. And what I like to do is wrap my spatula in a little bit of masking tape. That way once it's finished, peel it off and you've got a clean spatula ready for the next application. And just a friendly, helpful tip, use little and often. That way if you don't make a great big bit, then it goes off before you've fully applied it. Little and often. So the back is done. Now I'm going to press a nice small seal of fiberglass along in here, and I'm going to kind of triangle it off a little bit. So I've got a nice little triangular piece sanded out of a spare bit of fiberglass that came off the back of the bumper. Use this little tool just to press the fiberglass into that little notch nice and carefully. So I've got a nice small blended from the front. Then I'll start sanding the fiberglass down on the back. So as you can see, that is that front area of the bumper sealed in nicely with some fiberglass filler. Up next, let it go off, then we'll sand it, get it nice and smooth, and then run off a very fine layer of dolphin glaze body filler over it, get it all nice and smooth and blended in. So just laid some dolphin glaze filler over the front, wait for that to set so we can sand it down nicely and blend in the front. We're going to now attack the back. The fiberglass is all set through here, but it looks really rough where it's not been sanded yet. So we're going to sand it down and make it look really nice. This is the back of the bumper. but just because it's at the back and no one sees it, doesn't mean it shouldn't look nice. So that is one layer of fiberglass sanded down and a second layer added. Nice and smooth, and then I'll sand that down as well. So that is 2 layers of fiberglass filler on the top of the metal piece, sanded and filled. No sharp edges. Much better. And I wasn't happy with the top corner, so I cut that out, press some more fiberglass in. Once that's fully set, I'll sand it and then put a little bit of dolphin glaze on it so it's nice and smooth. Here is a view from the front. Dolphin glaze blending in nicely, nice and smooth. So there's no sharp corners in there. There's a little bit of attention in the corners. Once that's set, I'll get rid of that, sand it, make all the corners nice. Brilliant. Once the finishing touches to the centre LED strip are done, we'll be moving into doing these grills. Exactly the same concept. Cut a section out, run a nice new rail in on both sides. We'll get to that in a few minutes. For the next part of the project is going to be installing the LED rails in these vents in the bumper. And for this, I'm going to be using this short aluminium, I think it's cable conduit or something similar. It was powder coated. I've attacked it with the wire brush to get rid of all the white powder coat. And again, it's got a nice scuffed up surface for the filler to adhere to, and obviously primer paint afterwards. As you can see, I've already cut a section out, ready for the bit of metal to go in. Now let's get fitting. There, as you can see, the first rail on the left hand side vent is in, secured with some fiberglass filler. Letting that just get a little harder, let it go off, then I can start a high building, so I've got a nice decent foundation for it to stick to. That is the second one fiberglassed in. The fiberglass is setting now. As soon as it's set, we have to sand it down, make it look tidy. So that is a second and third skim of fiberglass filler over both the small vents in the bumper. Just needs a final sanding down so it's nice and smooth, which I should carry on with. And we shall call that phase 1 of the bumper finished. So that is phase 1 complete. Phase 2 will be replacing the plastic LED rails with some nice aluminium ones. See you in the next video.